I believe it was in August 2022. And if you've been following my channel, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. It was August, and we didn't have a FOMC meeting. In fact, we didn't have an FOMC meeting for like 40 days, something crazy, right? But in August, they had the Jackson Hole, right? And Powell went up there and spoke. And this was at the time when a lot of altcoins were starting to rebound after they hit those lows in June 2022, right? And then Powell came out and talked the entire market and traditional market down. Something similar happened yesterday, right? And I talked about this in my video. And I was explaining, I was saying, like, Powell seems to be very, very stubborn on his outlook towards lowering rates, right? He really feels like if there's no pain currently in the economy and, you know, we haven't hit our inflation goal. And in fact, we went higher, right? The U.S. inflation rose to 3%, higher than expectations, which were 2.9. You can see that the market really didn't like his hawkish tone. And they also didn't like the fact that inflation is rising again. It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'm back with another video. In this video, you get the real, exactly what I'm seeing in the market via bearish or bullish. So if you like this type of content, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you don't like content that's not bullish or not bearish, just a grounded opinion, I do apologize, but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't come out here and try to be as, transparent and forward with you guys as possible. Okay, so let's get into what I'm actually seeing in this market here. Not sure where my crypto bubbles just restarted, but Bitcoin is sitting here at 95,000. We do got a few things going on to the positive. So Goldman Sachs did disclose that they own 1.5 billion. You're starting to see a lot of these institutions load up on Bitcoin, right? This is Tesla. They also hold Bitcoin, and you know about the ETFs, BlackRock, Grayscale, all of these entities and institutions now playing with Bitcoin, but it's not affecting the price. And what's crazy here is that the Fear and Greed Index is actually at 35, right? We're nowhere near altcoin season. Guys, we had this little peak here in altcoin, but this wasn't an altcoin season, right? Because the Bitcoin dominance didn't capitulate. So this wasn't technically an altcoin season, but altcoins did have a nice, good run. And anybody that sold these tops made a little bit of money and still have money to reload into the market. And we're going to talk about why that is important. And how an altcoin season would look if we had quantitative easing, and how an altcoin season will look if we don't get quantitative easing. Because in 2017, we didn't have quantitative easing, but we still had an altcoin season. And that is an outlier. And I'm going to explain why that is an outlier. But it's kind of crazy that the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is sitting here at 35, and everybody is more so freaked out, but not seeing that there could be potential opportunity here. Some would say that this is a top, right? And Trump token was the ultimate top signal. Great post here with Rand pointing out that just based off history, the Fed didn't actually cut any rates until the interest rates were around zero, around 1%, right? Besides like the 80s and 2008, right? Those are like the outliers. But the economy was really, really, really bad, right? The economy was really, really bad. And in these cases, you know what I mean? It didn't matter with the interest rates, right? They had to go into quantitative easing and provide that type of stimulus because the market was really bad. But in today's, the economy was really bad. But in today's economy, the economy is actually strong, right? And this is why we're seeing this resilience from Jay Powell, right? I knew when he was started talking, after the lady was kind of like calling him out and stuff like that, I said, yeah. He's not, and she was kind of like giving a very, very grounded opinion as well, because she said things that she didn't like about what Trump was doing, but then she also said things that Powell should be doing, and he should be having some type of urgency about cutting these rates, right? Because it seems like everybody is on board with some type of stimulus to get this economy, some type of injection to get these businesses and these economies and things back rolling, right? But Powell, he wants to get his expectation, which is 2% inflation, and right now we're at 3%, right? So 3 reasons altcoin season may not look like 2021. I don't want to say may not happen because we could have a different type of altcoin season, but why it may not look like 2021. Just going over here to the total 3 charts. Actually, I want to check them out. Here on the weekly and the monthly, you can see that if we go here to the monthly, everything checks out on the total 3 for the monthly, right? So it's actually crazy, guys. When I show you this, actually, let me reload this page here and actually show you what I'm talking about on the monthly. So you can see that each time that we had a altcoin season, I'm not sure why my chart is not pulling up. Why? But I can show you here on the others chart because I just, yesterday I used the total chart, but I can also show you on the others chart, right? Each time from the halving event, we topped out 518 days, right? In each altcoin season, 518 days. And this will put us somewhere around October where we could potentially see our top, right? Just based off the history of the cycle. We're 276 days in. Each time that we were 273 days in, we were kind of like halfway, but that wasn't the altcoin market top. Here in 2020, 2021, you can see 273 days. We were right here. Altcoins did go up pretty nice, but it wasn't the top, right? And if we just take both of these patterns and forecast what we've seen off the history of the chart, it's a good chance that we top out somewhere in Q3, Q4 2025, right? Going into 2026. The thing is, will we get quantitative easing, right? And when will we get quantitative easing? If we do get quantitative easing, it's something that, we've been talking about. So let's say the things that's kind of like stopping us right now from having an altcoin season. First and foremost, the increased number of tokens diluting diluting liquidity, right? It's a whole bunch of different tokens. In 2017, we didn't need QE for an altcoin season, but we didn't have this much tokens, guys. So keep that in mind. Current market sentiment and indicators not strongly favoring altcoins. The sentiment is bearish in every YouTube burst channel. Everybody is negative as fuck. On crypto Twitter, people are like saying, oh, it's over with, altcoin season is over with. So it's a very, very, very bearish sentiment, and you can see the fear and greed index is at 35. The absence of significant monetary policy support like QE, which historically has fueled speculative boom. So right now, people don't feel rich, right? Because things are still expensive. We still have an inflation. So the average person who wants to put money into risk on assets when they have to focus on their everyday responsibility? So right now in the current market, you're getting like this wish-wash money where people are chasing narratives, right? People rotate their money from one narrative to the other narrative, but it's the same money in the market, coinciding with the sideways action that we're seeing from the total cryptocurrency market. We're kind of like going sideways, no new liquidity, so we're not going higher, right? Given their current economic health and the Fed's caution approach, it would likely take a significant unanticipated event to push the Fed back to QE, right? So we need some type of breaking of the market, right? Something needs to break, some type of black swan event. The economic indicators in Fed's communications suggest they are not currently contemplating QE, but are rather in a wait and see mode. And this coincides with the theory here that Trump is going to let them go ahead and, continue to tighten the monetary policy and pause and kind of like create this environment where there is no liquidity, where it does feel like a recession, so he can come in and be the hero, right? So kind of like we're in this wait and see mode. And this is what I'm seeing from even an on-chain perspective. When I look at people's wallets, right, that buy and hold spot, not the traders, not the snipers, not the people that's just messing up these launches, but I'm talking about people who buy and hold spot. Maraud's, the Alex Beckers, right? They're not selling their tokens, but they're also not buying any new tokens, right? They're also kind of like in this wait and see mode, right? Monitoring for signs of economic downturn or persistence of the high inflation. As you can see, inflation is back rising, right? So a black swan event could lead to major implications and a possible switch to QE, right? So just keep that in mind, that we could get a crash first, and this could force them to go into quantitative easing and an environment where we see some type of stimulus there, right? So BTC on the weekly here did drop back below our trend line, right? And this is the weekly. So if we do close below this trend line, this green line here, that would be pretty bearish for Bitcoin, and it puts us one step closer to the bears money line, which is 93K, and potentially validating this double top, which if we do, it's a good chance that we come and retest our magnet first, which is 83,000, and possibly the POC, which is around 70,000. So the market did not like how, Powell had this hawkish tone, but he did forecast that they are looking at quantitative easing. They don't know when they want to start adding back to the balance sheet opposed to tightening. Every time we seen the CPI, it marked the local bottom of each leg, and then we seen the next leg up. So with this CPI data coming out, is this the local bottom, and are we preparing for the next leg up? Stock RSIs are capitulating, but no confirmation yet, but we are headed into those oversold levels. So for people looking for opportunity, entry points are on the sidelines, just based on what we've seen. Each CPI reading marked the local bottom. So I'm giving you guys like really in-depth research. Please like, subscribe, hit this notification bell, and keep your favorite crypto and door-to-door entrepreneur inside the algorithms. I'm pretty sure there's 518 days between each halving event and top of each altcoin market. Every model that I looked at tells me that we supposed to still go higher, at least to the trend line. Every model that I looked at, right? If we don't, this time would totally be different, and this would really be a version of this diminishing gains, right? This would really be a version of the diminishing gains. This is the other chart. It told me the same thing. From halving to top, 518 days. From halving to top, 518 days. From halving to top, 518 days will put us somewhere in October 2025, right? So Q4, top in Q4. Both models that I back tested off historical data say the same thing. In 2017 was the outlier where we didn't have QE, quantitative easing. We still had an altcoin season. The elephant in the room here is we had way less coins. All right, so I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm trying to give you guys an idea of what to expect. And it was the same thing with the total market cap, right? From the halving to the top, 518 days. From the halving to the top, 518 days, right? I can do it right here and actually show you guys, right? It does not change. The math does not change. Actually, let's, where am I looking at? The math does not change from the halving here. 518 days. All right. Halving. Go to 518 days. So again, you know what I mean? Depending on where you draw your wick, you can say 549 on the total, 549 if you want to call that, and it would be 549 here. But the math doesn't change, right? It's still the same each cycle. This is the total market cap, right? All right, and the total market cap is a little bit different, but you can see here, 549 from the halving to the top, 549 from the halving to the top, 549 from the halving to the top would put us right here in October 2025, right? So it does the total cryptocurrency market cap is like one bar ahead, but it aligns exactly with the total 2, the total 3, and the others chart. So, guys, you know what I mean? Like we're here. We're at like 276, right? We're at 276. This is the total market cap, right? So, and I wanted to actually do this in real time so I can show you guys, right? Well, based on the total, we're a little bit, like I said, it's one bar ahead. So let's go here to 10 bars, which means we're right here. We're right here, 10 bars, right? And if we go back here and we do 10 bars right here, 304 days, you could see still we're nowhere near the tops of each one of these cycles. So if we don't have another leg up, whether it's the total cryptocurrency market, the altcoin market, then this cycle would be different than every previous cycle, right? So, and like I said, I went and tested the total 3, the total 2, and also the others chart, and they all said the same thing. It was kind of scary to see how similar that each chart was. So if this doesn't happen, then this time was totally different. And I'm not saying whether we have an altcoin season or don't have an altcoin season. I'm just pointing out, guys, how this looks. So what if Bitcoin dominance falls and we don't get quantitative easing? Because we all know what will happen if we do get QE, right? The whole market is going to explode. But what if we don't get it this year, right? If the Bitcoin dominance falls without QE, we might indeed see an altcoin season characterized by speculative trading, narrative-driven investments, and a casino-like atmosphere where the same liquidity is repeatedly cycled through different tokens based on hype. What the fuck does that sound like right now? It sounds like exactly what's happening. However, this environment also will require caution, as the sustainability of such gains could be questioned in the absence of underlying economic support like QE, which means if you do find yourself up on any of these tokens in this environment, PvP with no QE, but if Bitcoin dominance does capitulate, take your fucking profits. Take your profits. Take what the market gives you, right? This could possibly be a narrative-driven market if we do not get QE, right? There'll be rotations into hype. Without fresh liquidity, the existing capital in the market would likely chase after the most hyped or trending narratives. Thematic investments, sectors like AI, blockchain interoperability, and whatever narrative, you can replace this with gaming, RWA, or even the new meme social tokens might surge based on which stories capture the imagination of investors. So, if you can create that emotion that gets people tied into your token or your culture, we've seen meme coins and culture coins do well off that. And then social arbitrage, social media, influencer driven hype, which that's what's happening a lot. And it's got a lot of people pissed. If you go through all the comments in Twitter and also YouTube, it's hard being a social media influencer in crypto, right? Because no matter if you do everything right, people still dump their fucking tokens. People still sell. That's just the nature of this environment, this space. It's a casino. It's I take my profits before you, I win type of environment. And we got to call it for what it is. We got to call it for what it is. All right. We'll continue to monitor the heat map, but I wanted to, kind of like point out those points. This is the difference between QE, right? You get the wealth effect. This is why 2021 was crazy, right? QE often leads to a wealth effect where people feel rich due to rising asset prices like stocks or real estate, which can encourage them to invest in riskier assets like crypto. This effect is less pronounced without QE. Without QE, the wealth effect is dampened. People might not feel the same level of wealth increase, which could reduce their propensity to invest in volatile assets. And if we do not get QE, how should you approach this market? In my opinion, this is the best approach to a market. This is what I am personally doing, right? Ignore the trenches. Ignore that shit. Ignore the casino aspect of crypto. It's rigged right now. It's only working for those people that's that have insider knowledge. So ignore that shit. Ignore it. Stay away from it. If you want to play in it, understand you could get lucky, but it's a little bit based off insider knowledge and not skill. It was like skill, tools, but now it's just insider knowledge. So ignore that. Ignore that, guys. Ignore that. Right? Ignore the hype and the noise around QE because we still have wage growth. If wages continue to rise, people might feel more comfortable about investing. But this is the best strategy that I plan on doing. The key for the average person would be to shift towards a more strategic, informed type of investing, focusing on long-term value rather than short-term gains. That's it. Focus on the things that you know going to be here long term. Step away from the market if you have to. Go do something. Go learn a new skill, whatever, right? But just kind of turn off that greed for a second, because that's what's killing us, right? It's greed. Everybody want to, find the next 100x cooker. Fuck all that. Turn off the greed. The greed is only going to get us wrecked, right? I got to tell myself this sometimes. Millie, turn off the greed. Greed gets you wrecked. Buy things you know is going to be here, right? Take a more conservative approach, because this market is volatile. And right now, this market is risky. And we're closer to the top than the bottom, in my opinion. No point to be super risky in a market that's PvP and giving off casino vibes. Focus on your long-term portfolio, guys. Ignore the trenches. Ignore that shit. Ignore all that hype and all that crypto Twitter stuff. It's toxic. Yeah, opportunities happen, but most people lose their money. Most people lose their money because right now it's rigged. I'm going to leave y'all with that. Let me know what y'all think of the current state of the market. I know this was a long video, but I had to get this out. And hopefully I explained it in a way where everybody can have an understanding of how the market would look with quantitative easing and how the market would look without quantitative easing. It's your boy, Crypto Millie. I'll see you in the next one.